Okay.
All right, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome and thank you for coming to the Archer Group for the first Lunch and Learn of 2019. My name is Kevin Zeese. I'm a marketing specialist here at TKG, and it's my distinct pleasure to welcome you and introduce you to today's topic, getting more out of your digital advertising dollars. I'm also very happy to introduce today's speaker, Sydney Toucher. Sydney is one of our digital marketing content specialists here at TKG, and she works on many of the day-to-day tasks for many of our clients. She also handles the advertising campaigns for a number of our clients, including TKG. So without further ado, here's Sydney.
Hi everybody, thank you guys for coming. To start, I just want to ask, is anyone currently running digital advertising campaigns? One? Just a few? Is anyone managing them themselves, or do you have an agency doing it, someone like us? Okay, perfect. So as we get started, we're going to be talking about how to maximize your ad spend with digital ads. The first thing we're going to go over is going to be defining your goal for your ads, the different channel options that you have to advertise on, how to target your audience and message to them, factors to consider when choosing a budget, and finally, monitoring and adjusting those campaigns. First, you want to define your goal for your ads. What are you trying to accomplish with them? This should be a specific, measurable action that is small that you can focus your ads on. Throughout the presentation, we'll refer to those as conversions. It's easy to try to make a very high, lofty goal, like you want to increase your profits by 100%, but oftentimes those are several smaller goals that will lead to bigger picture success. So here are just a few options of different goals you can have on campaigns. And the great thing about digital ads is if your tracking is in place on the back end, you can track exactly what your ads are doing. So if you get a phone call or someone fills out a contact form on your website, you know exactly what they searched, exactly what ad they clicked on, to get them there. So this is an advantage over traditional media like billboards or TV or newspapers, where you can guess that's where they saw you, but you're not exactly sure. With digital ads, you can know exactly what it is and is not working. Next, we'll talk a little bit about the different channel options. There are many to choose from, but we'll just look at some of the most common today. First, we're going to look at search ads. So these are text ads that show up exactly where your customer is searching for your product, service, or business. They're going to show on the search engine results page of a search engine like Google or Bing. So here are just a few examples of searches I did for this presentation today. On the left, I searched on Google meal delivery service. The ads that show up for this are the first four options up here. You can see next to the URL, they have a little green box that says ad. Below the different ads are organic results. So those show up when you search for them without having to be paid to see there. So these show at the top of the page. They can also show at the bottom, very bottom of the page above your page numbers. On the right-hand side, I first did the same search on Bing for meal delivery service, but I got results like DoorDash and Grubhub, Jimmy John's Delivery. So that shows that you can have many different ways to say the same thing. But on Bing, I tried to search for meal kit service instead of meal delivery service to get some of the same results of things like HelloFresh, Home Chef. And on Bing, they're a little bit less discernible than on Google. They are a small gray box that you can see kind of on the first line of the ad. So they don't stand out as being paid ads as much as they do on Google. And just a note as I go through this presentation, I'm going to mainly be referring to Google, but the nice thing is you can do almost the exact same things on Bing. Okay, then we're talking about display ads. These are on the Google Display Network or on Bing. They can be text, image, or video or animated ads. The Google Display Network is a collection of over 2 million websites, mobile apps, and videos. which reach over 90% of internet users. So advertising on that display network is going to get you in front of a lot of people. And I have a few examples of those. This was on foodnetwork.com on an article about healthy dinners. And you can see at the very top of the ad, there is a, very top of the page, there is a display ad for Home Chef. This is a banner ad, and you can tell that it isn't part of the organic content of the website. With the little, in the top right-hand corner, there's a little ad choices symbol. And as I scroll down farther on the ad, farther on the page, there was another ad on the right-hand side. This one was actually animated, so it will catch your eye very easily. And then finally, let's talk a little bit about social ads. So these are ads that show up on social media platforms like Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, and Pinterest. These can be text, image, or video ads. And they show in the newsfeed while you're scrolling through that. They can show up in Marketplace, your stories, or Messenger. And I have a few examples of those up here. On the left-hand side is another ad for Home Chef. This one was on my Facebook newsfeed. This one was a video, so it was very eye-catching, as a lot of content today on Facebook are videos. On the right-hand side, this is actually a promoted pin from Pinterest. The nice thing about ads is you can't tell they are ads. They're not content that the page is posting themselves. In the Facebook ad, underneath Home Chef, it says sponsored. And on the right-hand side for that Wayfair ad, it does say promoted by Wayfair.com. I have two more examples. The one on the left is a promoted tweet that was on the newsfeed of Twitter. And on the right-hand side, this is an example of a LinkedIn ad. Okay, once you have defined your goal and chosen what channel or channels that you would like to advertise on, you need to figure out who you're trying to reach and what you want them to do once you reach them. It's important to define your audience and then refine your message to that audience so they are more likely to take action on your ads. So it may be easy to think that your service or product is applicable to everyone, when in reality, if you decide to just target everybody in the United States, that's not really the wisest use of your ad dollars. And different audiences respond differently to messages. So if we take like the Home Chef as an example, if you wanted to target 20-year-olds, maybe your message would emphasize things like their gourmet meals that are very easy to cook. They have simple instructions, they're easy to make. Whereas if you wanted to market the same service to somebody, say in their 40s, who have been cooking for themselves for a number of years, you may want to focus on the fact that they take less than 30 minutes to make to accommodate a busy schedule. Then once you decide who your audience is and what message you're going to show them, you need to make sure that your ads have a clear and compelling call to action. So it could be something like sign up, get more, learn more, shop now. And then once they click on that call to action, where do you take them? So this would be either a landing page, you could take them to a product page if you have an e-commerce store, you could take them directly to a form to fill out. And the great thing about digital ads is you can test those. You can A/B test two different call to actions, you can A/B test the different landing pages, the different options on the landing page to find out exactly what is resonating with that audience. Okay, then once we know what the audience is, there's a couple different ways to target that audience. I'll just go through a few of the very large ones, but the nice thing about Google and Facebook and Bing is there are thousands of different ways to define your audience. Keyword targeting is the #1 source for search campaigns. You can have as many keywords as you would like. You don't pay per keyword, but you want to make sure that they are kept relevant to your business, to your ads, what you are showing to the audience. We have a couple different demographic information that you can target. Location is really great to narrow down your audience. So if you have a national store, it may make sense to target the entire United States, but if you're a brick and mortar store in Canton, you may want to limit those ads to just a 10-mile radius around Canton, people that are more likely to come into your store, and so you're using your ad dollars wisely in that area. You can also target age, gender, and location. That helps define your audience or excludes particular audiences. Finally, you can use device targeting. This is really helpful in a lot of different situations. So say you are offering a B2B service, you may want to focus your ads on desktop users that are using their desktop during the day. But if you're a pizza shop, maybe you want to target your ads mobilely, so someone at night searching pizza delivery are more likely to see your ads. And then let's talk about a few factors to consider when choosing your budget. I know at the Cartridge Group, we get this question a lot, is how much should I spend on ads? Unfortunately, that's not an easy answer. The short answer is whatever your business is comfortable with and whatever fits into your overall marketing strategy. The nice thing about digital ads versus something like a traditional billboard, you can change it all the time. You're not committed to spending $20,000 in 6 months. You can change it daily if you wanted to. And if you find something's not working, you can turn it off so you're not continuing to spend money that doesn't work. So a few other things you want to look at to pick a budget is looking at your keywords. So you can use tools like Google Keyword Planner, SEMrush. Those are going to show you the average cost for your intended keyword. So some industries like law or insurance have very high cost per click. You're going to spend a lot more in those markets than you would say if you're advertising shoes online, or if you have a, say like a hair salon. Those are going to be cheaper words to bid on. And again, you can have as many keywords as you like as long as they are relevant to what you're advertising. As well on those tools as the average cost, you'll also get the competition, the relative competition for that ad. So if there's a lot of people in your area that are bidding on that, you're going to end up paying more. And then you can also get search volume, so how many people in your targeted area or your targeted audience are searching for that monthly, as well as related keywords. And then another nice thing about digital ads is it is not a competition of who can pay the most. So the Google ad auction starts when someone makes a search. It considers all of the relevant ads in that area, and then it takes into fact to consider the budget as well as the quality of your ads. So those factors combined give you an ad rank. So the higher your ad rank is, the higher the position you will have on the page. So even if you are not bidding as much as your competitor, if your keywords in your ad are highly relevant, you will show up higher. And then finally, it's nice to consider your target audience size. If you are extremely narrowing your audience, you are going to run into issues of having just a smaller audience as opposed to advertising more broadly. It's important with digital ads to allow for a 2-week period of time where you're making very minimal adjustments to let the platform optimize and start to show the best versions of your ads. After that 2-week period, you want to start looking at key performance indicators to help measure and track success. One of the first of those key KPIs would be conversions. Those are the specific measurable actions that we defined at the beginning. The number of those conversions will depend largely on what you're advertising. You're going to get different conversions if you're asking people to sign up for a newsletter versus if you're asking people to make a large purchase. The click-through rate is the percentage of people who saw and clicked your ads. This number gives you an idea of how relevant your ads are to the search that they are making or the audience that you are targeting. A low click-through rate is going to suggest that maybe your ads aren't as relevant as they could be. And then we're going to look at cost per click, and this is the average cost of when someone clicks on your ad. This, again, will depend on that call to action that you are using on your ads. The conversion rate is the percentage of users who saw your ad, clicked on it, and then did that specific action that you asked them to. And then if we look at impression share, this is the percentage of impressions that your ad is showing out of all of the total eligible impressions. Oftentimes a low impression share suggests that your budget could be higher, that your competition is bidding more than you are. And finally, you want to look at the quality of your leads. None of the other numbers matter too much if all of your leads are low quality. And the thing about digital ads is you can identify and evaluate the exact source of those low quality leads and maybe try some different targeting. Then, and considering all of those factors, it's easy to make little adjustments here and there to improve your campaign. And the biggest thing with digital ads is there's not a tried and true, this will get you success. A lot of it is trial and error, testing different options to see what works for your audience. What may work for one industry doesn't work for another. We see it all the time that we have great success with one client doing something, we try it for somebody else, it doesn't work. So a lot of digital advertising is trial and error, and just testing and improving and optimizing to get the results you're looking for. Then I'm hoping you guys all have lots of questions so we can chat more about it. Yes?
So like, is there a formula, like my ad budget, is it gonna be like cost per click times this amount?
You can work it backwards. So if you do that, the research for your keywords and you look at the average cost per click, if your average cost per click would be like $1 and you're looking to get 50 clicks in a month, you would spend $50. So you can work it backwards if you have an intended cost per click in mind to try to figure out what your budget should be. I think that would probably be the best way to look at it if you have an intended cost per click that you can find through doing that research.
Can you repeat the questions?
Oh,
So
I
they-
apologize.
No,
Yep.
that's okay. Sorry.
The question was there a formula to determine your budget based on the cost per click? Yes.
So do blogs help out when it comes to running a campaign, or would that give you a leg up over your competition, or is that just more for an organic search?
Blogs help a lot for organic searches, but they can help if that's what you are advertising for your campaigns. So if you wanted to take them to the blog as a learn more, or if you're offering something like a white paper, but organically, they don't necessarily correlate with the ads. I did not repeat that question. The question was, do blogs help with digital ads? Yes.
Do you have some examples of what you consider to be solid call to action on your digital ads?
The
Gotcha.
question.
So the question was, do we have any solid examples of calls to action on digital ads?
That is a lot of testing back and forth, typically shorter calls to actions, something like sign up now, shop now. Those tend to work from what we've seen. But the nice thing is to A/B test. We had a campaign that I did recently. We tested get started versus request service. And we found request service is what the company had been using for their website and their forms for a really long time. So we decided to test get started because it seems a little bit more non-committal than request service. And we had a lot more success with that as the call to action. Yes.
Can you explain A/B testing a little bit?
The question in the room here was, can we explain A/B testing a little bit?
Okay. So A/B testing, you don't want to test two drastically different things. So you're essentially going to you can do A/B testing with like your ad creative. So if maybe you have the exact same ad that has two different call to actions. So you can test those they're going to get the same amount of traffic to see which one does better. You can also do with display ads, maybe use the same words but a different image. On your landing page, you could again test that call to action maybe you test, we've done this a lot before, a short form versus like a long form, if you're asking people to sign up or fill out a contact form. So the key with A/B testing is to make one like small change to decide what is the best factor. Because if you show two completely different things, that's not an accurate representation of that test.
Oh, hang on one second, Sydney. We've got a question coming in online. The question is, how do I know which social media platform is best for me to advertise on?
That one's hard. I guess it depends on really what you're looking to do with the ads. And you can also look into the average cost for those platforms. I guess a lot of it is testing too. We've done some clients that we've tested Facebook versus Instagram versus Twitter, and depending on the campaign, we've seen different results. But unfortunately, I don't have a good answer for this is the one.
So I would, if you don't mind,
Yeah.
I would say that a lot of it also depends on your audience. Understanding that if it's a business audience, LinkedIn might be the better option. But if you're looking to push something that's a little bit more social, a little bit more free time oriented, that some of the other channels might be a better option for you at that point.
I would agree.
While you can muddle through and do a lot of this yourself, at what point do companies figure out that, hey, I need to involve somebody like the Karcher Group, or how do they come to the realization, or what's a good time to involve outside help?
Do you want to repeat that?
I'm sorry, can you repeat the question?
Sure.
I'm looking at the online ones. I'm sorry about that.
So basically, you can do a lot of this yourself, but obviously you guys provide value. So how do companies figure out, hey, it's time to involve somebody like the Karcher Group? When is a good time for that?
Sure. Okay, so the question being, a lot of companies can try and do this themselves, but at what point do they realize that they need outside help from a group like us here at the Karcher Group?
So I would say a lot of the clients that we have now that we are running digital ads for, a lot of them don't have time to manage them. It is a lot of management and making small changes to optimize those campaigns. You could essentially set it and forget it, but that's not in the best interest of the ads. We also do a lot of extensive research for your market, for your industry. We do a lot of research into keywords, what perform the best, and we do a lot of testing. So we, typically an agency like us, we have more resources to get those done than somebody in-house. But it is a lot of Google you can manage yourself, which is nice.
Okay. We do have another question coming in online. We'll grab you in 1 second here. If we're doing a call to action and want them to fill out a contact form, where is the customer sent to fill out the form? Do they go to our website? Do they go to another platform? What is the best option there?
To fill out a contact form? So with forms, it is nice, you do have a couple different options. If you could send them to your website, you could send them either to a dedicated page on your website that has that contact form. LinkedIn and Facebook, I know for sure, do lead ads. So I don't know if you've seen it when you're scrolling through, if you click contact us, it takes you to a page in platform that autofills a lot of your information from your profile. We have a lot of success for those because it is a simple process that keeps you in platform. So it really depends on where you want to take them. If you have the ability to take them to your website that has a dedicated landing page for the contact form, it works really well. But you can utilize some of those resources within Facebook and LinkedIn as well.
Okay. We had a question here in the second row on this side.
I just had a quick question. If you could repeat where you look, I don't know if it was an app or a service, for keyword research to find out that cost and related keywords. What are those sites?
Hold on.
Sorry.
It's all right. So the question was, where do you look to find the keyword research and cost information?
Okay, there's the two platforms I mentioned were Google's Keyword Planner. There's also SEMrush. Moz does a lot of keyword data as well. And there are countless others. Those are a few that we use in-house as they have a lot of reliable information. But if you do a search for that, you can find lots of different other tools that offer that. Any more?
Any other questions here in the room or anything online? Not seeing anything coming through. Okay.
Can you talk a little bit about remarketing?
Remarketing.
Yeah.
So with
Oh,
these.
hold on, Alan's way in the back.
This is my favorite.
So the question here being, can we talk a little bit about remarketing?
Okay, with digital ads, as you begin to build your audiences and serve those ads to them, you can start to grow a customer, kind of like a customer base and audience list of people who saw your ad and start showing that ad to them more frequently. You can remarket to people who have clicked on the ad and maybe didn't convert. You just start building those audience lists so you can constantly get in front of them. I'm sure we have all seen that in our own internet usage, like you see the same ad on Facebook a million times, or if you somehow see that ad on Facebook and while you're browsing the website. Some of the example in here, I had a Home Chef ad that showed up on my Facebook, as well as one that showed up, the display banner ad that was on foodnetwork.com. So we see a lot of success if you are showing that ad more frequently, the audience is more likely to click on it and do that action you want them to do. Yes.
So are you saying that people that click on your ads, you can actually go back and remarket to that person specifically?
Yeah, so the question here being that people who click on your ad, is it possible then to go ahead and remarket to those individuals, correct?
Yes.
Great.
Yes. Yes, we can. You're not gonna know exactly, you're not gonna know that person's name, or
Yeah.
we can't get that.
But yet you can reach that person.
Yes, yep, you can keep reaching those people.
Okay.
Along with remarketing ads that we do, there are dynamic remarketing ads. So if I look at a product on Old Navy's website.
What's that again?
Dynamic remarketing. So if I were to look at a product on like Old Navy's website, and then I'm scrolling through my Facebook newsfeed and I see that exact product that I looked at, you can do that with a lot of different product feeds where it will show you exactly what you were looking at to increase your chances of converting.
What's that?
Okay. Any other questions? Okay. I believe that would be all.
I'll stick around if you want to
Yeah,
ask
absolutely.
any more
There's
individual
a number of us
questions
here.
as far as-
If you guys would like to ask any of us questions offline, you're more than welcome to do so. Sydney's available, myself, Alan in the back of the room here. He can help answer some questions as well. So we'd like to thank you all for coming, and we hope that you guys found this helpful and informative, and we look forward to seeing you again. Thank you very much.
Thank you.